Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again. Here to bring you another video. This video is going to be doing a fight video prediction for Frank Mir versus Daniel Cormier. Alright, so I did a video yesterday talking about Daniel Cormier versus Jon Jones, seeing as how some smack talk has begun between those two. And eventually, should Daniel Cormier win this fight and Jon Jones still be the champion, which he probably should since he's fighting Chael Sonnen. And not to say Chael Sonnen doesn't have a chance. He could win, but the odds favor Jon Jones, obviously. So eventually it's going to happen. But before that happens, as far as we know at this point, Daniel Cormier has signed with the UFC, and his first bout is supposed to be against Frank Mir, which is a really good opponent for him, I think, when you think of all the different possibilities for different heavyweights for Cormier to fight. Frank Mir is still a top heavyweight. He's definitely going to be a top 10. Top 5, I don't know. There's so many guys at heavyweight right now that are so good. I don't know if you'd rank Mir in top 5. Definitely top 10, though, somewhere in there. Obviously, Frank Mir coming off of that loss back in May last year against Junior Dos Santos, getting knocked out in that fight. We haven't seen him fight again since. I don't know if he was injured or what the deal is, or if they just didn't have a fight for him, or what situation. But this fight should probably take place sometime this spring, I would imagine. Before the summertime, I would say, probably. And I don't think it's on, we don't have an official number for the UFC yet. I think it's on a Fox show, but I guess we'll see what happens with that. I haven't heard too many details about exactly when it's supposed to be. Maybe there's something on Wikipedia, but that's not absolute anyway. That could be changed or whatever. So that being said, let's break this down. I think it's a good fight. I think it's an exciting fight, too. I'll be pretty excited to watch this because on one hand, Daniel Cormier won the Strikeforce Grand Prix. So he's coming in the UFC. He's going to be hungry, obviously. You could consider him to be the Strikeforce champion, heavyweight champion, I guess, coming into the UFC. And, well, Alistair was, I guess, the Strikeforce heavyweight champion, but that's kind of a different issue. Strikeforce is defunct anyway, so I guess officially you can't really consider anything. So we'll just say the Strikeforce Grand Prix heavyweight champion. And obviously with a huge win over Josh Barnett, which was very impressive. Surprised me. I actually thought Josh Barnett was going to take that. I think I did a prediction for that and chose Barnett. Just because his wrestling is so good and his stand-up has been good too as well. But Daniel Cormier put it on him, man. Put it on him pretty good. Frank Mir poses a lot of different challenges for Cormier. Obviously than someone like Josh Barnett. His wrestling is pretty good. Not as good as Josh Barnett's, I don't think. But his jiu-jitsu is really where he excels. So in this fight, I would imagine Daniel Cormier to be taking Frank Mir down here and there, but not going to the ground with him. Sort of just kind of maybe throwing him around and putting some slams on him when he gets a little lazy, maybe to mix up his boxing. Because DC does mix up his boxing and his kickboxing with some pretty good shots, slams, just nice transitions, just putting the guy on his back just to let him know that if he ever wants to take him down, he can go ahead and do it at any time pretty much. Although I don't think he's going to want to go to the ground with Frank Mir. If you guys remember the fight against Nog, I don't think it's a good idea for anybody, except for maybe Verdum. Verdum would probably want to go to the ground with Mir, and who wins in that? I don't know, man. Maybe I don't know. Maybe Verdum, but I would count that as a draw. I don't think you can say really one's better at jiu-jitsu than the other. I mean, they're both amazing, right? So, and I'm sure a lot of people before Nog and Frank Mir went down there were thinking Nog was going to tap him, and, well, you saw how that went. That was crazy. So, Frank Mir definitely can't be counted out when it comes to that. Pretty much, I would say tied with Verdum, best jiu-jitsu in mixed martial arts in the world. Yeah, I think you could say that. Daniel Cormier, on the other hand, best wrestling of any mixed martial arts in the world, I would say, because of his Olympic background and, there's nobody else that we've seen that's as good as him. I don't think so. In MMA, he might be the best ever. He might be the best wrestler we've ever seen. Yeah, I think he is, actually, at least at the highest level. Like in the UFC, in those kinds of bouts, I think he's the best. Brock Lesnar was really good, but Daniel Cormier is just, another level. So that being said, in this fight, I mean, this is a pretty tough one, but I'm going to go with Cormier. Even though Frank Mir could slap on a really good submission, I think it's going to be really tough for him because he's not going to be able to take Cormier down. He's going to get ragdolled a lot probably and thrown around quite a bit. And at the same time, I don't really think Frank Mir is going to have that big of advantage in striking. I mean, Daniel Cormier's striking is very underrated and very good. I mean, training with Kane, obviously, you know, it's unpredictable what he's going to do. He mixes it in. I think he's a really tough fight for almost anybody in MMA right now, be it at heavyweight or other. Maybe Alistair Overeem could crush him just with a stand-up, but nobody's going to out-wrestle him. Basically, nobody. So unless they can beat him in striking, it's going to be really tough for people to do it. Because again, if he gets in a scramble with Mir, he'll just throw, he'll probably end up taking Mir down, putting him on his back, and then Cormier will just stand back up, and that's it. So I'm going to pick Cormier in this fight. I'll go with odds 60-40 again because I think he's got this maybe 70-30 because I think he's got this pretty handily against Mir. Anyway, let me know what you guys think. Do you think I'm maybe thinking too highly of Cormier? I mean, he was an Olympic wrestler, right? I don't think I am. That's it for this video, guys. I'll see you for the next one. This is Trev. Saying peace.